I'm thrilled to introduce you to Memima's ETFES Method. ETFES stands for Ear Training for Early Stimulation, a groundbreaking approach to nurturing musical intelligence in early childhood. Developed over a decade ago, this method has grown into a transformative movement championing the incredible potential of music to shape a child's mind from birth. The ETFES method adapts musical education from a baby's very first day of life, seamlessly supporting their speech development journey. It empowers parents and caregivers to become their child's first music teachers, no prior musical knowledge required. The home is the only environment where the consistency needed to learn musical language as a second language can be maintained. Daily exposure to auditory exercise sessions is absolutely essential during this period. The ETFES method harnesses daily routines, transforming them into opportunities for cognitive development. It begins with musical ear training through a structured and evolutionary curriculum of auditory exercises and adapted musical language sessions. The auditory channel is the same one we use to learn our native language. For this reason, the ETFES method uses it to teach children to speak music, emulating the natural process of learning to speak. We'll begin with the contrast between two notes equivalent to two syllables, like mama or pa, and progress to creating melodies, which mirror constructing a sentence with a subject and predicate. Throughout this process, they will learn to audibly recognize a wide range of musical concepts: intervals, arpeggios, chords, scales, modal colors, tensions, chord progressions, rhythmic figures, and pulses. These skills lay the groundwork for melodic formulation. Through musical ear development and auditory exercise sessions, the ETFES method strengthens emotional bonds and enhances abilities from birth. Transform daily home routines into moments of cognitive development and educational musical immersion, fostered through emotional connection, calm, and relaxation. After completing at least 1,000 minutes of auditory training exercises, the curriculum transitions to exploratory interactions, both free and structured, using musical instruments. These activities are guided by the methodology, with a special focus on the children's piano and structured free play with instruments. This instrument is ideal as it enables children to understand the behavior of tones and semitones, both auditorily and visually, bringing the musical concepts they've learned directly to their fingertips. They will amaze us with meaningful melodic formulations, translating the musical concepts they've learned into fine motor skills, literally placing music at their fingertips. Finally, they'll finish by playing, improvising, and creating music. The ETFES method aims to teach children to think musically, make decisions on any instrument, and explore the boundaries of when a choice is correct, when the combination of rhythm and notes works, and when it doesn't. Thanks to the solid foundation built through auditory exercises, this cognitive effort begins from a privileged starting point, making success more easily attainable. In summary, we'll begin with musical ear education from birth and culminate in effective creative exploratory interaction using children's musical instruments. The priority will be a thorough focus on auditory training sessions. This approach ensures privileged preparation, allowing them to fully benefit from music learning in the classroom. For this reason, we can confidently speak of developing musical intelligence through our methodology. This entire process unfolds not at just any moment, but while children are actively listening to and exploring their environment to learn how to speak. The period of peak neuroplasticity, a unique and unrepeatable opportunity in human development. The ETFES method will transform the lives of babies, girls, and boys from birth, guiding them throughout the process of learning and acquiring speech. It educates their musical ear in the same way they learn to speak, from birth to age 6. Thus, developing their musical intelligence, enhancing their language abilities, improving problem-solving skills, fine motor coordination, and fostering their musical creativity. And most importantly, this will happen through relaxation, bonding, and affection. The ETFES method knows no other way to teach the language of music in early childhood than through love. Music is the universal language of emotions, and learning to speak its language through connection also fosters the development of socio-emotional skills, which are even more essential. Before learning to write, we first learn to speak at home and during the early years of preschool. ETFES holds the same place for learning to speak the language of music. Before learning to write music, one must learn to speak it. ETFES makes this possible at home through bonding and affection, and in preschool through calm and relaxation, seamlessly integrated into daily routines. Once they learn to speak music with the ETFES method, they'll be ready to enter the music classroom from a privileged starting point. Their performance in learning notation, musical writing, tuning, and instrumental practice will be significantly enhanced while also developing a profound and exceptional connection with music. We're not aiming for them to be number one, we want them to be happy and to develop the ability to think musically. The ETFES method provides multiple benefits for cognitive, psychomotor, and emotional development, becoming a key element in fostering family well-being. Musical and linguistic cognition are deeply interconnected in childhood development. As we've seen, just as we learn to speak, the ETFES method teaches children to speak music from their very first day of life. This approach fosters both musical and linguistic intelligence, becoming a turning point for early learning and enhancing their relationship with the environment, learning, and social interactions at school. The ETFES method is not a luxury, but a necessity for holistic child development. Through daily auditory sessions, children develop essential socio-emotional, linguistic, and creative abilities for their future. In a world where the negative impact of screens on early childhood is alarming, and future generations must coexist with artificial intelligence, ETFES stands out as the best option. This method places secure attachment, relaxation, and bonding at the heart of the process, providing key competencies for success in social development and problem-solving within a technological environment. Whether as mothers, fathers, or professionals, we have the opportunity to be agents of change. Through the ETFES method, we will strengthen the emotional bond between caregivers and children while enhancing their cognitive, linguistic, and socio-emotional abilities from birth. The sound of each note through the evolutionary curriculum of over 2,000 adapted musical language exercises creates neural connections that form the foundation of cognitive and emotional development in children. By emulating the process of speech acquisition, we place emotional bonding and relaxation at the center. We begin with the contrast between two notes, akin to two syllables like mama or papa, and progress to formulating melodies and melodic variations equivalent to sentences with subjects and predicates. Every melody has a part that acts as a question and another as an answer, functioning as the melodic semantics of grammatical structure. As a result, their ability to discriminate phonemes and intonation will be significantly enhanced. Simultaneously, they will internalize rhythmic and melodic patterns, which they can later bring to their fingertips while interacting with any instrument. This dramatically improves their instrumental practice, melodic formulation, and creativity, enabling them to explore music freely and effectively. ETFES empowers mothers, fathers, and caregivers to teach fundamental musical aspects during early childhood that traditional music classrooms often miss. In essence, ETFES is the ideal tool to prepare children for music classrooms and to continue teaching music outside of them throughout early childhood, from birth to age 6. In a technological world dominated by artificial intelligence, we need human skills that machines cannot replicate. The ETFES method, develops musical intelligence, creativity, and emotional connection, humanizing education from day one. The correct implementation of the ETFES method, guided by you as a mother, father, or professional through daily routines and enabling them to reach their full potential. Your role will be essential in ensuring these benefits while enjoying a unique experience rooted in emotional bonding. Each note change is designed to make them think musically, thinking in frequencies. This will occur exercise by exercise as they progress through the musical ear development curriculum. Starting as early as possible will maximize the benefits. Enhancing language development from birth with the ETFES method provides a significant advantage for learning from the environment through language. As we know, understanding words and phrases is far more important than the ability to reproduce them. This will have a direct impact on their overall learning journey. The future depends on how we educate today. With the ETFES method, we can bring more humanity to humanity through art, musical intelligence, and emotional bonding, preparing future generations for a world full of challenges. Are you ready to be part of this educational revolution? With the ETFES method, every sound, every note, and every melody becomes a tool for changing lives from the start. The ETFES method has brought musical education to the first day of life, empowering mothers, fathers, caregivers, and educators to become the first to introduce musical language into a baby's life. No prior knowledge required. As a fundamental principle, we must remember that musical and linguistic cognition go hand in hand, with one influencing the other throughout our species' linguistic evolution. We are humanizing the future. A future where music, art, and language will be key to tackling technological challenges with greater empathy, creativity, and humanity. In the past, access to writing wasn't as socialized as it is today. It was much more restricted. ETFES aims to make musical notation and music writing far more accessible starting from childhood. As we've said, ETFES allows learning to speak music before learning to write it on a staff, just as naturally as we learn to write in our native language. The vision of ETFES proposes the socialization of musical language from birth, treating it as a second language through the intelligent, sensible, and respectful use of technology. This will be a cognitive gift in the form of developing musical and linguistic intelligence, which will accompany children throughout their learning life. Something that, until our methodology, was only accessible to families where the mother or father was a music teacher. The ETFES method by Memima has always been a tool designed for adults, where the most important thing is what happens in the relationship between a mother and her baby, a father and their child, or a group dynamic in a classroom. Our mission as an educational tool is to make the development of musical intelligence accessible from birth for all families, achieved through bonding, affection, and well-being. Effective stimulation is more effective and generates a greater number of neurotransmitters. As a mother, I know that love and music can transform lives. Join me on this educational journey, and together we'll discover how the ETFES method can change the future for our children.